Well, hey everybody, it's Suze, Tai Chi with Suze Jeffries, and I'm glad to be with you today. You may not recognize this location. This is actually my study. I'm inside because today in Florida it is pouring rain. Rainy season has definitely started. It's thundering and lightning, and usually what I do is I tape on my lanai on my screened porch. But today we are inside, so it's all good. We just got to go with the flow, right? So today I wanted to share a Tai Chi tip all about balancing and making balance just a little easier, a little bit more doable, a little bit more, actionable, a little bit easier to access when we're feeling off balance, whether it's mentally, emotionally, or physically. Interestingly, we've been doing this series of the ancient 10 Tai Chi principles to stress less and live better. Interestingly, balance is not one of them. And here's why. Because balance is a result of the implementing of the 10 tips. Balance is what we cultivate as a result of playing with these things, experimenting with them, being easy with ourselves as we cultivate, as we develop our mindfulness, as we focus more on relaxing and breathing and on relaxing in the proper posture and on not overdoing. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, going slow, yin and yang, using no force, keeping the eyes up and having a purpose. All those things, they all contribute to balance. Now, does that mean you can't achieve balance until you get all those things exactly right? Oh, heck no. Absolutely not. Because you know what? We're never going to get everything right all at the same time, or at least we may for a heartbeat, for an elusive moment. But what we can do is achieve improved balance as we flow from perspective to thought to action, and we lighten up a little bit around it. I love the Tai Chi phrase that we are Tai Chi players. We're not Tai Chi workers. We're not Tai Chi doers. We're not Tai Chi teachers or students. We're Tai Chi players. The idea being that we play with Tai Chi. We cultivate it, we explore it, we practice it with a light heart. The ultimate goal of Tai Chi is to help us stress less, to relax our bodies, quiet our mind, and smooth out our energy. And if we're working really hard, that's just not going to happen. So I wanted to give you some simple tips on how to cultivate more physical balance, because that's often where we struggle the most, at least when we begin to come to Tai Chi. So I'm going to step back a little bit. A couple of simple tips that may really help you with this. Let me shift my angle a little bit. Now, if you want to join me in this, just go ahead and, if you're sitting, sit up tall on your seat bones with your feet on the floor in front of you. We call the seat bones as seat feet. If you are standing like me, we're in that horse stance position. Our feet are under our shoulders. They're parallel to each other, so we're not here, right? We've got them a little wider apart. Our knees are softly bent. Horse stance position. Now here, balance is pretty simple. We've got a nice broad base. Kind of relaxing. Take a couple deep breaths. We're aligned, head over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. We're not slouching to one side. We're not, leaning back, leaning forward. We're just kind of grounded from the waist down, tall and elegant from the waist up. Preparing ourselves to balance with ease. And a lot of it really is about having a perspective, a goal, a vision, something that we want to cultivate. Maybe intention is the right word. And then setting ourselves up for success, preparing in a way that makes it simple for us to cultivate that intention, or to find that focus, or to discover that flow, whatever it is. So simply starting here in horse stance is part one of it. Now let's go down to our footing. Our feet are actually a really important part of balancing, and this is really interesting. We call this mindful footing. We call it mindful footing in yoga and Tai Chi, and universal truths and biomechanics, correct biomechanics, flow through every kind of movement. So right here, you're going to lift your toes up. If you've never ever lifted up your toes, that may sound strange, but just, you're going to lift your toes up, keep the feet on the ground. I'll come back here a little bit more. Pick them up. And what you may notice is that all of a sudden your arches have activated, right? I'm a little flat-footed, but when I pick up my toes, my weight rolls across the ball of my foot, let's pretend this is my foot, down along the edge and into my heel. So if you're like me and you tend to pronate a little bit with a little more weight in the ball of your foot behind your big toe knuckle, then we find this to be very interesting. So pick up those toes. Notice how it activates the arches. Notice how it distributes the weight across, down on the outside into the heel. Then notice that your knees have become activated. They've lifted a little bit. Super interesting. It's all connected. You may notice that your quadriceps have activated a little bit, or maybe even your glutes. Now, as you do this, I'll invite you to take a couple of deep breaths. Keep those toes up. And then slowly release the toes down. If you can do it one at a time, that's awesome. Now, we release the toes down, but we've still kept all the other parts of the body activated. So if you lost it, pick the toes up again. Super easy way to find it. Notice those parts of the body being activated, the arches, the knees are lifted, quadriceps. Draw that belly button a little bit to the front of the spine to support the spine. Maybe think about lifting up from the waist up a little bit. So we're finding lift in the front. We're kind of grounding down through the back, dropping that tailbone. And take a couple deep breaths as you do. Maintain the activity, but release the toes. Now, you're in a super well-organized, correct biomechanic position to remain really grounded. But a lot of times we want to keep balance as we're moving. So I'm going to invite you to shift your weight side to side, maybe with your breath. Right, we inhale to center, exhale, fill one leg. Still nice and tall, we're not leaning. Inhale to center, exhale, fill the other leg. Let's just stay in that leg, really grounding in that leg, filling it, rooting. Other leg completely empty. It's so empty that you can pick up the other knee a little bit or a lot with not much effort. If you feel yourself wobbling, press with that standing foot into the ground, draw the belly button in. Inhale, then exhale, put that foot down. Inhale to center, exhale, press, shift all the weight into your new leg. Really activate that arch, pick up the toes if you need to. Remember, drawing the belly button in, nice and tall from the waist up. When you're ready, pick up that knee a little bit, ball of the foot still on the ground, or a lot. Now, if you feel wobbly, press that standing foot into the ground. Draw the belly button in. All those parts, lift the head up. Oop, I got a little wobbly. To the sky. If you fall out of it like I just did, it's all good. Just reorganize, get back in. Sometimes we have to lose our balance in order to find it. A couple of deep breaths here. And then put that foot down. So do it with me. We're going to inhale to center, exhale, fill, and lift the knee. Inhale to center. Exhale to fill, lift the other knee. Breathing in and out. Lifting the knee a little or a lot. Breathing in and out. You can always do this next to a wall, putting your hand on the wall if you'd like. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Beautiful. Beautiful. Come on back to center. I'd love it if you put this in the comments below. Did you find that you have one side that's easier for you to balance on than the other? For me, that's my right leg. I don't know why. I'm left-handed, but it's easier for me to balance on my right leg. So we have a stronger side, a weaker side. We have a easier to balance side, a less balanced side. So when we are doing these one-legged postures, we're moving through in Tai Chi. It's not really postures. When they're doing the different moves, we flow from one to another. Unlike in yoga where we might hold it, often we hold a posture in yoga. But when we are doing this, if we can maintain the awareness of our breath, drawing that belly button into the front of the spine so the core can actually support the spine, oh my gosh, that makes such a big difference. And then if we can really remember to activate the feet, have mindful footing, draw the head up. I mean, maybe that sounds like a lot. But you know what, when you practice it and you play with it, it gets easier and easier, more and more automatic. And you'll find that as you do this, maybe in the odd moments in your day, maybe when you are standing on line at the grocery store, or you're pumping gas, or you are on the phone and you're standing or sitting, maybe you're at your desk, Remember, if you're sitting, you can just shift the weight into the seat bones. Start by scooting to the front of your chair, putting your feet on the ground. Do this with me. This is kind of interesting. We think of the seat bones as seat feet, right? Think of them as little seat feet. Plant them both. And check it and see if you've got an equal amount of weight in each of your seat bones. Then inhale, exhale, fill one seat bone, empty the other. Inhale to come to center. Exhale, fill the other seat bone. I don't want you to hitch your hip up and lift it. We're just shifting weight side to side. And now inhale to come to center. Exhale, fill one seat bone. That emptier side, pick up that knee. Beautiful. Come to center, fill the other seat bone. Exhale, pick up the other knee. So you notice that we can practice balancing on our feet, but also in our seat when we're sitting. And that means we're not, crouching down, collapsing. We're lifting, chest up, head up, drawing that belly button in, but we're using the seat bones as if they're seat feet. Notice when you pick up one knee, you kind of have to really plant the full foot, the one that's on the ground. You have to kind of plant that and press against the ground with it, just like we did when we were standing up. So interesting. I know I geek out on this stuff. But this is something you can do at your desk, your chair, wherever. Don't do that when driving because, you might hit the gas by accident. So balance simply can be a little elusive. Sometimes we need to lose our balance in order to find it. Balance is never static. We will never, ever maintain completely perfect balance for whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically. It's just not going to happen. That's just not how life is, because things are always changing and shifting in life. So perhaps we can cultivate the pursuit of balance, the flows, the seeking of balance by being a little kinder to ourselves, a little bit more gentle, just noticing. That's the first step, noticing when we're not balanced. Maybe we're stressed out. Maybe we're falling. Hopefully you're not falling down. Maybe we're overwrought or upset emotionally. Maybe we're depleted. When we notice a balance, just thank yourself for noticing. That self-awareness is so, so important. It's the first step. If we don't know, we can't shift things, right? Then think of one little simple thing you can do to improve, to shift, to change. It often starts, like if you got nothing else coming to mind, just focus on your breathing, whether it's mental, emotional, physical balance. That deep breathing, that's the first key. And sometimes if you're feeling out of balance mentally or emotionally, just playing gently with cultivating improved balance, standing or sitting, that can be a nice little positive step that can begin to shift the flow so that you can recreate better balance. You can recenter, knowing that it's fleeting and it's okay. It will come and it will go, and that's part of life. I hope that helped your Tai Chi practice. I hope that helped your practice of balance, whether it's yoga, Tai Chi, anything else. All good things connect. We'll end with our traditional Shaolin salute. Right hand is a fist representing the tiger, the body, and the warrior. Left hand is open, representing the mind, the scholar, and the dragon. We put them together and bow to harmony of body and mind. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe or like it, or feel free to share. I think in this complex world now more than ever, it's so important we share resources that benefit ourselves with other people too. Have a beautiful day. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.